Go ahead.
As somebody that taught high school, basically educating our new young adults, we should all be scared. These colleges are going to have to start lowering their requirements because the amount of kids that are going to come into these schools and they cannot read, they cannot write, they cannot do anything without AI.
And while we have been focused on social emotional learning, this is what's happening to our children. Welcome to the John Amanchukwu Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Do me a big favor and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, many of you know me as the book banning pastor. That is a title that the liberal media gave me. At first, I'll be honest, I didn't like it. But over time, when I started to realize that I'm not the problem, I'm just over the target, and I'm speaking truth to power. So they're going to label me with all of their fancy terms to throw me off, to bludgeon me, to make me feel as if I continue to speak up, then they're going to ruin my name and or reputation. But listen, the only thing that I have sought to do was to tell the American education system to stop trying to groom and indoctrinate our children, but to get back to reading, writing, and arithmetic. But you know what? They didn't want to listen to me. And now we have a major crisis on our hands. Take a look at this.
Now that I am no longer a teacher, thank God, I can finally say the things that have been on my mind all school year.
Preach.
Okay.
Go ahead.
As somebody that taught high school and basically educating our new young adults, we should all be scared. Every last one of us should be scared. These kids cannot read, they cannot write. There is no type of comprehension skills, no type of critical thinking. They cannot do anything on their own. They expect everything to be taught to them. Well, I won't even say taught. They expect everything to be given to them. So in my class, we did this thing where I made them write once a week. So they would have some type of assignment where they would have to write at least a paragraph, meaning 5 sentences. 5 sentences. The amount of assignments that I got in with 1 sentence, 2 sentences, the amount of complaints I got where with the whole 5 sentences, that's too much. That's too much. Can we do 3? Can we do 3? Isn't 3 considered a paragraph? Oh, baby. We are in for a wild ride, y'all. Every assignment that I gave them, I kid y'all not. I kid y'all not. Every assignment that I gave them, there was a student that came to, several students that came to my desk and made me asked me to walk them through the entire assignment.
Lord have
The
mercy.
full whole thing. But genuinely, the truth of the matter is everybody is failing these kids. Everybody. The school board with all these different rules, they're failing these kids.
Get
The
them.
principals or admin altogether,
Get
they're
them.
failing these kids, and they're failing the teachers because they're basically telling us that we had to just pass a child along just to keep these graduation numbers up. So everybody, like everybody. Oh, and don't get me started on the parents. Like,
Get
I
them.
will call and say, hey, your child is failing. And the first thing is, well, why didn't I know about this? Probably because you didn't answer the phone. Probably because you didn't get or you didn't respond to my emails. On top of that, you have 24-hour access to Power School. When I tell y'all it is horrible, like the parents that are here now are not the parents that we had growing up. My parents checked my Power School weekly. Weekly. And still to this day, my brother just graduated high school a few weeks ago, and still to this day, his grades were checked. Everybody's grades were checked. So unfortunately, it's not these kids' faults. I mean, yeah, they're lazy, but like, what are you supposed to do when all you got to do is tell your mama, well, she failing me, and the school board is going to accommodate that parent? Like, it's crazy, y'all. We should be very scared for our new nurses, our new doctors, our new everybody. These colleges are going to have to start lowering their requirements. They're going to have to start lowering the fact, or just lowering everything, because the way that stuff is going now, the amount of kids that are going to come into these schools and they cannot read, they cannot write, they cannot do anything without AI. We should be scared. We should really be scared. Have a great day.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, maybe God is trying to tell you something. 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 Tell you something. Listen. I've been trying to tell the American education system something for the past 3 years. Listen, I've traveled to 19 states fighting against gender theory, queer theory, critical race theory, intersectionality, diversity, equity, and inclusion. All of this 1619 stuff, all of this pronoun stuff, all of this mixing of sexes and genders and all of that stuff. I have been talking about this thing. And while we have been focused on social emotional learning, this is what's happening to our children. Now, this is an agenda. This is not new. The Bible says there's nothing new under the sun. This is something that Alice Bailey sought to do. She's the prophetess of the New Age movement. She put together a 10-point plan. She wanted to deconstruct America, rid society of Christianity, push her Marxist atheist beliefs. She was steeped in the Luciferian style of training and belief system. She received her esoteric knowledge from a demonic medium by the name of Dwal Cool. She, just like John Dewey and just like the Margaret Sangers of this world and many others, they sought to destroy the emphasis of Christianity. And so therefore, through social emotional learning, through focusing on all of this woke ideology, we are no longer educating our kids. We're talking about things that's out of a Cracker Jack box, things that don't make any sense. Now, get this. Did you hear what she said? This beautiful and intelligent and prudent and wise woman just said, our children cannot read, let alone write a paragraph or understand what they're reading. They do not know how to sound words out, and they were not taught that. She said she tried to get them to write a paragraph with five sentences. And the number of students who complained, who had an issue with that, you can't come. You mean to tell me that you can't come up with 5 sentences? And see, man, this text culture as well has hurt us because, instead of writing, we're texting, and we've moved from texting to voice to text. We've moved from that even to all of the AI. And so now, man, people have become lazy. And she's right. We should be concerned about our doctors, mechanics, lawyers, all of these things across the board. Pilots, God forbid, man. We need to be concerned because America is in trouble. We've put so much emphasis on all of these woke ideologies to the point where our children are beginning to regress psychologically and mentally because their brains are underdeveloped and underused. Now, listen to this. I'm going to give you some alarming statistics. 40% of fourth graders score below basic reading levels on the NAEP in 2023, according to the NAEP. All right. Nearly 70% of low income students are not proficient in basic reading. Only 14% of 13-year-olds read for fun daily, down 35% in 1984. All right. Many schools continue to use balanced literacy methods that de-emphasize phonics, leaving students without decoding skills. We're teaching them what to think and not how to think. The goal should be to take that pupil, to take that student, and through strategic pedagogy, make that student a lifelong learner. Okay. Also, we have underfunded schools and a lack of quality instruction in early grades. This also contributes to long-term reading difficulties. Also, we have issues with parents who are not getting their children into preschool at the appropriate time. So many of these kids are going off to kindergarten and they don't know sight words. They haven't even become proficient in their colors and spelling simple words like spell I. I mean, tell them to spell A. Tell them to spell B, and they can't do it. You tell them to recite their ABCs. A, B, C, D, E, F, P, H, M, I, K, J, B, D, B, G, B, D. Oh, but tell them to tell you the lyrics to the latest Drake song, Lil Wayne, Kodak Black, Morgan Wallen, however you could say his name, Wallen. I don't know. Tell them to tell you something about their favorite show. Oh, they can speak ad nauseum about those things. And so we have a lack of awareness taking place. Many parents do not know their children are falling behind until it's too late. And schools often promote students regardless of performance, keeping parents in the dark. And then there's also disengagement at home. Parents are reading less to their children, especially younger Gen Z parents. Some parents assume reading is the school's job and fail to reinforce literacy at home. And so parents are shocked when they find out their child is functionally illiterate, but they haven't sat down and read with them in years. She also mentioned Power School. I want to say hats off to the mamas out there that check Power School every day. My wife is one. I have only checked Power School probably once or twice. And that was probably where I told my son or my daughter to pull it up. My wife is very much so involved in that regard and making sure she's going in physically and checking Power School to know what's going on. I do the simple thing of I'm going to ask you, what are your grades? And I want you to tell me what your grades are. When I start hearing, my grades is a when they start hitting you with that song, you know right there that somebody is not telling the truth. All right. And if you're lying, you flying. And we don't play that in the Amanchukwu home. My expectation is that you get your work done, that you excel, that you become your best. And I don't want to be looking at some F's and some D's and all that stuff and C's. I don't want to look at that. This is funny. Before my mother was saved, She used to tell us, my siblings, me, Joey, Chris, and Angela, she would tell us that if you get an F, that means that you have up. All right. And so we knew not to bring an F or a D, all these other C's and stuff like that home, because mama wasn't playing. She took those things seriously. And now more than ever, parents have to take the education of their children seriously. We cannot sit idly by as our children are indoctrinated into these cultural misnomers, while at the same time, they can't even write in cursive. They can't spell. They can't master reading for comprehension by even the third grade. I was once told by a prominent business leader in North Carolina that the way that the prison system determines how many more prison cells they need is based upon literacy tests by the third grade. It's a shame. And that's what creates that prison pipeline, especially if you're illiterate, can't get a job, can't function. How are you going to make money? More than likely, my friends, you're going to get into crime. And so as they call me the book banning pastor because I'm fighting against the things that should not be in the public school system and across the board, just know that no, I'm not the problem. The problem is that we have individuals who have special agendas and special interests who could care less about the upward mobility of our children. They only care about the propagation of their lives. I'm not the problem. I'm a part of the solution. Let me know what you think below in the comment section. Am I right or am I wrong? Am I weak or am I strong? God bless you and God bless America.